again, we're making this as a template that could be replicable, so different people could do it different ways, or different organizations, different groups could do it different ways, and you would want your obviously your consumers, producers, and workers would have a say in how these rules work. And so stuff like that especially would be something that you would want to set some initial starting point. You would want to say, okay, we're starting out this way, but it would be up to a vote then, after that, of being able to change how that sort of thing was done. Well, I say it would be up to a vote. It would be up to some sort of decision-making structure, which we're also going to have to come up with. So in an organization like this, what I have seen, my experience has been, is that when people try to start something like this, they start with too little structure. They start just, or they overthink it, and then they can't enroll people because it's too complicated. So we want to make it not too complicated. Like, this isn't complicated. I think I'm a little bit on the overthinking things side of things, is how I tend to go. But the other way of doing it is to underthink it. And what I've seen other people do is to underthink it, and then everybody gets in a room together. You've got these consumers sitting there, you've got these producers sitting there, you've got these workers sitting there, or potential, people, and they're all sitting there and they're looking at each other like this. Like, nobody knows what to do because you haven't set up any sort of structure for people to make decisions or even have a conversation. So, you have to have some initial format for people to even have a conversation, for them to come up with these, decisions. And it's best to have a formal decision-making structure that people can actually raise their hand and go, I have a suggestion, and you know what to do with it. You actually have a process for submitting and voting on proposals from the get-go, or else you're going to end up kind of spinning your wheels, and usually whoever ends up standing up and taking over ends up the person who's in charge making all the decisions. And I don't like being that person, so I've always felt really uncomfortable in that situation, because I don't want to be the asshole who just takes over, but there's no system for me to raise my hand and say, I have a suggestion. Don't do that to people. It's not nice.